broken off part of a wall materialized at the edge of the street, leaning precariously against what had been the butcher's shop. The newly arrived fragment looked so in keeping, it could easily have been part of the destroyed upstairs. The piece of wall contained a window, the glass still intact, but warped and grey from exposure to fire. The window opened, and out stepped the master, immaculate in his suit. He surveyed the devastation around him and flinched at a sudden near sound. "Don't worry, only me." Tired and covered in muck, Polly limped over. The master raised his cylindrical device, but she hardly seemed to notice. To his surprise, she carried on past him. "The war ended just before dawn. You could put that in your report."
I'm glad to see you're in one piece.
She was some distance from him now, headed in the direction of the spiders. Her expression was blank. The master glanced round the street, but there was no other sign of movement, of life. He considered, then followed Polly.
Are there many of you left?
Not enough to resist them. We tried looking for other survivors. We found one girl. Her leg was pretty bad. The spiders finished her off.
They must have a set number they will allow to live.
So now you're here, one of us must be for it.
I'm sure that won't be necessary. You've done well to survive. When I've concluded my survey, how would you like to go home?
She stopped. He waited for her to speak, and when she didn't, he took a step closer. Tears streamed down her face. The master reached out a gloved hand to her, and then thought better of it. He looked around, awkwardly.
We could leave now. I can always come back another time for the data.
You need to see what you've done. She brushed him aside to continue up the street. Ahead of them, where the spider was working through the mound of debris, lay a body. From under a blanket protruded 2 feet, one with a boot on it, the other just a stripy sock. No, not a blanket, an RAF greatcoat. The master hurried over. He drew back the coat and looked down on the staring, still face of the doctor.
Surely not.
He took the full blast of a spider's gun, trying to save Jill. It didn't work, but the doctor almost survived. He managed to tell us there was a process, something that would save him, but we had to get him back to the TARDIS. Ben and Jamie carried him, but they weren't fast enough. She nodded across the rubble to where 2 more bodies lay.
They died trying to save their friend.
Everyone died because of you!
I didn't start the war. I didn't bring humans to this planet or help them build their town.
You stoked up both sides. You could have tried to make peace.
There was never a peaceful solution. That's what made it ideal for my experiment. But I will learn from what happened here. I'll use it. Perhaps you'd like to see what this has all been for.
What?
You can stay here, or you can come back with me to my TARDIS.
Your ship has been taken care of, sir.
The master whirled round to find Jill and a line of other soldiers all aiming guns at him. With a sigh, he reached for the cylindrical device in his pocket. But it wasn't there. "Looking for this?" The master raised his hands.
That was rather accomplished.
Oh, yes, wasn't it? A very moving performance, Polly.
Doctor, you had the whole town pretend to be dead? Why?
Is that no obvious? To get you away from your TARDIS.
Which has now been mothballed.
You will release it. You will release me. You will release me.
The soldiers wavered, caught under his spell. But the approach of a spider brought them back to their senses. The spider's gun fired a jagged beam of energy. The master fell back under the onslaught. When the dust cleared, he was sitting on the bricks, his suit covered in muck, and his hair all standing on end.
Mind control is banned in interspecies warfare under Article 414 of the Convention.
Oh dear. It seems someone reminded these creatures of the relevant bits of galactic law, which is just as well, as I gather there's going to be quite a court hearing with you as the star.
In other words, Sunshine, you're nicked.